about advantages of DBMS and disadvantages of DBMS, because it is our second class, and in the previous class we have discussed about basics of database, what is basically database, what is the introduction of the database. So in addition, we have discussed various concepts like what is the difference between file based system and database management system, why we switch to database management system, what are the advantages of using database management system, what are the advantages of using file based management system. So in the same manner, today we are going to discuss about database, what is database, what are the advantages of database, and what are the disadvantages of basically database. So if we are talking about database, what is a database? As the name implies, it is the organized collection of data that is stored and accessed electronically from a computer system. So where databases are more complex and they are often developed for formal design and modeling technique. Now, what is design and modeling technique? Because we are concerned with the design in database to our core. Like the first task of database designer is to produce a conceptual data model. Now, what is conceptual data model? It is a high level description of the informational needs underlying the design of the database. It typically includes only the main concepts and the main relationships among them. So typically this is a first cut model with insufficient detail to build an actual database. So it could be like, it could describe the conceptual schema of the database that reflects the structure of the information to be held in the database. So it is a common approach to this, that is to develop an entity relationship model. So what would be the objective of our today's lecture? So in the end, we will be able to distinguish between the what is good about DBMS and what is bad about DBMS, like what are the advantages and what are the disadvantages, so that we can deal with the disadvantages accordingly. So this is our basic objective of today's class, and as you know, we are discussing about conceptual data model. So that reflects the structure of the information that is to be held in the database, and it is a common approach that is to develop an entity relationship model. So entity relationship model describes the interrelated things of interest in a specific domain of knowledge, and basic ER model is composed of entity type specific relationships that exist between various entities, and we are supposed to show the same. Now there is a full-fledged chapter on entity relationship model that we will be discussing in upcoming classes, like because the name implies entity relationship. Entity mean to say it is a physical thing, it is a thing that is related to physical entity, or I can say it is the, it could be representing the relationship between two entities, and that could be physical entities like student and teacher. So these are two entities that exist in the real world, and in order to define the relationship between two types of entities like physical entities, student and teacher, there could be various relationships that could be used, and there could be like various types of relationship. Mean to say there is one-to-one relationship, one-to-many relationship, many-to-one relationship, and many-to-many relationship. So all these details will be discussed later. So it is often because we are dealing with database as well as design, because we are supposed to first design the schema of the database, only then we will be able to store the data in the database. If there is a well-defined structure for the same, then we will be able to store the information accordingly, so that it can be fetched with the help of the SQL queries. So it is possible only if well-designed structure is there in the first instance or first place. So we are supposed to deal with various entity relationship diagrams, various design diagrams are there, various data models are there that we are going to follow in database. So it could often help in drawing tools like ER diagram. So another popular approach is unified modeling language, that is UML, in which we are supposed to deal with use cases. And you might have studied about UML practicals in UML lab in your previous semester, like it is a general purpose developmental modeling language in the field of software engineering that is intended to provide a standard way to visualize the design of the system. So UML was concerned with the designing entities, how the activity chart could be maintained, how the state chart diagram could be there, how we are supposed to define the relationship, what are the various types of relationship, what is entity relationship model, that you might have discussed in brief in that class, like UML practical lab. And we because it was modeling language, modeling is concerned with designing, but we have not discussed database there. So now we are discussing database, and database is concerned with design as well. So if you have studied UML lab, then it would be easy for you to design a database system for you, or I can say it would be easy for you to understand the database design system in your database subject. So if you know the basics about what is ER diagram, how we are supposed to maintain the relationship, how we are supposed to define the relationship between two entities, then it would be easy for us to create the database or create the structure of the database. So like a successful data model that will accurately reflect the possible state of the external world that is being modeled. For example, if people can have more than one phone number, then it will allow this information to be captured. Designing a good conceptual data model, it requires a good understanding of I can say application domain. So it typically involves like asking deep questions about things of interest to an organization, like can a customer also be a supplier, or if our product is sold with two different forms of packaging, are those the same products or different products, or if a plane flies from New York to Dubai via Frankfurt, or is that one flight or two, or it may be three even. So these are certain types of questions that we are supposed to deal with when we are dealing with modeling. So the answer to these questions establish definition of the terminology that is used for the entities like customer, product, flights, flight segments, and their relationship and their attributes. So producing the conceptual data model sometimes involves input from business processes or the analysis of workflow in the organization, and this can also help to establish what information is needed in the database and what can be left out. So for example, it can help when deciding whether the database need to hold historic data as well as current data. So having produced a conceptual data model that users are happy with, the next stage is to translate this into a schema that implements the relevant data structure within the database. Next is we are supposed to deal with advantages of database. So there are certain advantages of database that are there, like elimination of inconsistencies. Now, as the name implies, elimination of inconsistencies mean to say, like if there are any inconsistencies that might be there when we are dealing with online transactions in the database, then we are supposed to eliminate the same with the help of the DBMS software. So how we are supposed to eliminate the same, and in a, and prior to the same, like prior to the term that is elimination of inconsistencies, we are supposed to discuss about what is basically inconsistency in database, what is inconsistent data in database, because inconsistency is concerned with atomic I can say ACID transactions. So that is concerned with atomicity, consistency, isolation, and durability. So in that ACID transaction, there comes the term inconsistency, because we are supposed to deal with the consistent database. But if there is inconsistency in the database, then we are supposed to eliminate the same. So what is consistency here? So if we are dealing with ACID transactions, like atomic transactions are there, and let's say we are dealing with banking transaction, and there are two parties like A and B. A account is there and B account is there. A account wants to transfer its fund from its account to B. So let's say it could be a minor transaction of 100 rupees. So there could be certain steps that could be associated with that transaction, because it is a rule that either we are supposed to complete all the steps of the transaction, or we are not supposed to start the transaction at all. Because if we leave the system in between, then the database could be in the inconsistent state. Like after the first operation of the transaction, it might be the case that there are no updations that exist there in the second step or in the third step. So that could lead to the database into the inconsistent state. Mean to say, A has transferred its amount to B, but in account number B, it is not updated like that. The 100 number are increased in its account. So it could lead to inconsistency. So data inconsistency is a condition that occurs between files when similar data is kept in different formats in two files. So I am talking about file system here because we are supposed to deal with a file system in the earlier days, and it could be the case that every file is stored in according to their own format. Like everybody is coming to the organization and he is specifying its own format, because there was no particular standard, or I can say particular format that was being followed for file system. So data was stored. So data was stored in so many formats, or I can say multiple formats in that case. So it is a condition that occurs between files when similar data is kept in different formats into different files. It is about file-based system. So that was there because inconsistency occurs in file-based system, or when matching of data must be done between files. So as a result of the data inconsistency, these files duplicate some data such as address and names, and compromising the data integrity. So by a system called propagating updates, changing made at one place are automatically made at all the similar locations. This is possible with the help of DBMS. Because if I am updating certain things like phone number of a particular student in its first database, because there could be so many databases that are existing relating to the particular class or particular student, because he is present in the university for 4 years, and so many databases could be created for the each semester. And in each semester there could be further various activities in which he might enroll. So there could be a case that I am supposed to update its information. For example, students frequently change their phone number, or it might be the case that nowadays house numbers are getting frequently changed. So if in one file I am supposed to update the record of a particular student, then it should be reflected in all the other associated records that could be there and that could be associated with that particular student. And it is possible with the help of DBMS software. It was not possible with the help of file-based system, because different formats were there and we were unable to implement all the formats, or implement all the updations in all the formats. So that was inconsistent. That was leading to inconsistency in file-based system, and it is quietly, or I can say it is handled in DBMS system to a much larger extent. So this is one of the advantage of DBMS system. Like inconsistencies have been removed. I can't say that every system is 100% perfect, but up to particular extent it is eliminated. Next is data security. Now if we are talking about file-based management system, like it is not it was not secure, because no security measures were there, and it was generally overlooked. Nowadays, even we are dealing with a huge amount of data, and the concept of security is generally overlooked in most of the cases. So that is why security is very important issue, because we might be dealing with sensitive data that is there. So in case of dealing with sensitive data, there could be some security measures that could be there. So more users access the data, the greater the risk of data security breaches. So corporations invest considerable amount of time, effort, and money to ensure that like corporate data are used properly, and a DBMS provides a framework for better enforcement of data privacy and security policies. So there are certain standards that have been followed by DBMS so that its security policies could not be violated by the users, because data is very crucial to any organization. So if anybody is violating particular conditions or particular rules of the organization, or I can say security policies, then it might be the case that there could be severe results that he or she might has to follow. So there are certain levels that are associated with the same, or I can say there are various types of security that is associated at various level, or that is provided at various level. So level number 1, level number 2, level number 3. So what is basically level number 1? Whether user has authority to use the system, like if he is a person who can use the system. Next is whether demanded file or demanded data is accessible, demanded data is there or not. Third is to analyze the permission to add, modify, or delete the file. So these are 3 levels of security measures that are provided in order to provide security to a DBMS system. So these are 3 levels. First level is concerned with authority. Second is concerned with accessibility. Third is concerned with permissions. So these are the 3 levels that are concerned with the data security. Next is easier data access to users. Now what is this? Easier data access to users employees mean to say users can easily fetch the data as and when required without waiting any without wasting any time, or without waiting in the long queue. So it means that it is concerned with performance, it is concerned with efficiency of the database management system. So the DBMS makes it possible to produce quick answers to ad hoc queries. Ad hoc queries mean to say these are the temporary queries that are generally raised by client or users. So from the database perspective, a query is a specific request that is issued to the DBMS for data manipulation, mean to say it is concerned with any updation operation like to add some data to the database, to delete some data from the database, or to update some data in the database. For example, to read or update the data, we can simply put a query as a question. Query means to say it is simply a question. And an ad hoc query is the spur of the moment question, that is a temporary question. So the DBMS sends back an answer that is called the query result set to the application. For example, end users, when dealing with a large amount of sales data, it might want quick answers to questions like temporary queries. For example, what would be the questions? These are the sample questions that are written here, like what was the volume of the sales by product during the past 6 months. So this is the query that is generated. What is the sales bonus figure for each of our sales people during the past 3 months? How many of our customers have credit balance of 3,000 or more? So these are certain types of questions that we are supposed to deal with when we are supposed to deal with temporary queries in database. Next is improved decision making. So what is basically improved decision making? Like, because we are supposed to manage the data efficiently, so it automatically leads to improved decision making. So better management data and improved data access. It makes it possible to generate better quality information on which better decisions are based. So the quality of the information that is generated, it could depends on the quality of underlying data, and data quality is comprehensive approach to promote the accuracy. I mean to say, it could be the correct information, up to date information that could be available, valid information, that is validity, and in time, like if I am raising any query and the system, DBMS system, is able to respond to my query in a fraction of seconds or in a minute, it could depend on the timeline, whatever the like response time is. So it could be able to produce the answer in the stipulated time. So that is why it is concerned with promoting the accuracy, validity and timeline of the data. So while the DBMS does not guarantee data quality, it provides a framework to facilitate data quality initiatives, because DBMS is not granting the data quality, but it could provide a framework so that we can follow various data quality measures. Next is backup and recovery. So file-based management system, if we are talking, there was no facility for backup and recovery mechanism was not there. But DBMS must provide facilities for recovering from hardware or software failures. Like the backup and recovery subsystem of the DBMS is responsible for recovery. Like if any natural disaster or due to some like obvious reasons like power failure, system crash. So there must be some system, or there must be some backup and recovery methods that could be there, so that if any fatal error is there, then we could be able to recover the same. It is not the case that crash is crash. I mean to say, we can't do anything and we are sitting at our disposal and we are not looking for the alternative. So backup and recovery could be alternative. Like if there is a data that is, or I can say there is a disk crash in the system in which the data is stored, then there could be some options that could be there from which we can recover the data. So what is backup and recovery in database management system? A DBMS must provide facilities for recovering from hardware or software failures. The backup and recovery subsystem of the DBMS is responsible for recovery. For example, if the computer system fails in the middle of the complex update program, for example, like banking transaction, I told you earlier, the recovery subsystem is responsible for making sure that the database is restored. Now, what is restored here? Let me tell you an example of the like same example. A and B are two accounts. A is transferring amount from its account to B, and there are 3 steps that are associated with this transaction. And when like initially he was A was starting the transaction, second he was supposed to transfer the amount from account A to B, and after second step, amount from account A is deducted, but in B it is not updated, so there is some crash. But it could be the system that in which we are supposed to start from the step where it is aborted or where it is crashed. It should not be the case that in case of recovery, again we are proceeding from our first step. It should not be the case. We should be starting our process from the second step onward. I mean to say, amount is already deducted. Now we are supposed to see whether it is updated in B or not, and we are supposed to transfer it to the B. So this would be our restore position. So database is restored to the state it was in before the program started execution. So other reasons may be disk crash or software errors. So we are supposed to deal with the same. Next is high initial cost for various resources, and these resources are mentioned here like manpower, hardware, and software. So what is basically manpower? Like skilled people, human resource. Skilled people are required who expect more salaries. Skilled people are required who expect more salaries in order to operate the database management system. Next is hardware. Hardware is concerned with servers, nodes, networking connectors, networking components, more things that you can add to the hardware. Software, complicated softwares like Oracle, Visual Basic generally cost up to 25 lakhs. So these are all the advantages of DBMS system, like elimination of inconsistencies, data security is there, easier access to users, easier data access to users, improved decision making is possible with the help of database management system, backup and recovery mechanisms are there, initial cost is high. Next is we are supposed to discuss disadvantages of the DBMS system. So first is complexity. Now complexity, as the name implies, everything, like every software, every subject that is new to me, it should be complicated to me in the first instance, or in the first, because I am not aware about the if and buts of the subject, or if and buts of the technology that is new to me. So same is the case with DBMS. Like if I am going to operate DBMS, then there could be certain level of complexity that could be associated with the same, and how I will overcome the fear, or it could be a phobia. So how I will overcome the same after using the same, after implementing the same. If there are issues, then I am supposed to deal with the same. I am supposed to learn how to use DBMS, how to operate DBMS operations. So same is the concept here. Initially, there could be complexity to deal with DBMS system. So DBMS is complex, difficult, time consuming to design. Time consuming to design, develop, and administrator. What is this now? Complex mean to say initially there are some complex procedures that could be there. Like I don't know about database. What is database? What is schema? What is data model? What is entity relationship model? So this sounds new to me. So I don't know what is DBMS. And in addition, it is difficult. Obviously, if something is complex, then it could be difficult. Next, time consuming. Obviously, if I am not aware about something, then in order to understand that, we are supposed to invest our time, and it could also lead to designing issues because I don't know the if and buts of database. And in addition, there could be some development time, administration time that could be associated with the same. So same is the case with DBMS. It is complex, difficult, time consuming to design, develop, and administer. So the provision of the functionality that is expected of a good DBMS, it makes the DBMS an extremely complex piece of software. In addition, database designers, developers, database administrators, and end users must understand this functionality to take full advantage of it, and failure to understand the system can lead to bad design decisions, which can have serious consequences for an organization. Because if we do not understand the basic concepts or functionality of the system, then we will be creating a problem for the organization, because we don't know how to operate the resources, how to use the resources, how to use the DBMS operations efficiently and effectively. So it would be complex for us to deal with that situation. Next is cost of conversion. So as the name implies, how we are supposed to convert. So in some situations, the cost of DBMS and extra hardware may be insignificant compared to the cost of converting existing applications to run on the new DBMS and hardware. So the cost also includes the cost of training, because if we are converting something, then we are supposed to give training so that people can easily operate the system, people can easily interact with the system. So it could be possibly like the case that the employment of specialist staff that could be there, and that could be concerned with the cost. So the employment of specialist staff to help with conversion and running of the system. So this cost is one of the main reason why some organizations feel tied to their current system and they cannot switch to modern database technology, because it is difficult to convert, or difficult, it is quite difficult, but in addition it could cost more to convert from one system to another, or I can say to convert from old system to new one. So it might be concerned with cost. So next is, so many security issues are there. So what are those? Like, as computerized environment is easier to break and there exist no moral checks. Hacking online class may be available. So what are the security issues? Like, we are dealing with, we are the computer science students, and we easily know it is very easier to break in to the computer system if we know the underlying details. So same is the case here. A computerized environment is easier to break due to various vulnerabilities and risks that are associated with the computerized environment, because if we are not aware about the security issues, then it could be the case that uh, we could be the victim of like, there could be security attacks that could be there, and we are supposed to handle those. And if we don't know the security, what is security, what are the security mechanisms that are to be followed, then we will be the victim. So as a computerized environment, it is easier to break and there exist no moral checks. So hacking online classes may be available. So it is concerned with hacking, obviously, because if I am talking about breaking, then it is concerned with hacking. So hackers could be of two types, as I told you earlier. They are, it is their hobby, or they are intentionally doing the same. So next is no physical navigation. So there is no physical navigation like up, down, right, left. It is not provided. So people don't have to move physically because physical navigation is not there, and it can be done sitting at home and having an internet connection, because we already know, because we are dealing with the that system already. So as data is centrally managed and it can be accessed by users, so it has some security issues. Centrally managed mean to say there is a central administrator that is there who is handling all the coordinating all the activities of the database. So all the rights and privileges could be given from that single point of contact. Next is slower response. So in database system, the database is currently managed and assessed by different users online and offline. So it requires a powerful server. Sometimes when many users access the same database, it may result in slower response because we are already dealing with the same. For example, on the day when results are declared, many authorized users access to same database, which may result in slower response. So this could be the case, and this is the practical example that we might have encountered. So this is the disadvantage of database management system. So we have discussed various disadvantages of the database management system. Like high cost. In addition, there could be huge size. Huge size is there. Like the size of database is not big at the initial state, But when the user stores a large amount of data, then it may create many problems. So due to the huge database system do not provide good results and do not run efficiently, and that is why the size is another limitations of the database system. Next is database requirement of technical staff. So a non-technical people, they can't understand the complexity of the database management system. So the technical staff is required for maintaining and handling the database management system. Next is performance. It could be also an issue because we are practically dealing with the same. So performance is another big disadvantage of database management system, because the speed of the database system for small firms and organizations is very slow. Hence, the performance of the database system in small organizations is poor. So we have discussed about what are the various disadvantages of database management system, because we list all the advantages, and there it could be followed by some disadvantages, or I can say limitations of the database management system. So what we have discussed, like high cost, huge size, database failure, like because in database systems all of the data or information of an organization, it is stored in one centralized database. So if the database of the organization fail, then the data is lost and the organization will collapse. So database failure is a big problem with the database management system. Next is complexity, increased staff cost, like it requires educated and skilled staff for managing and maintaining the database. So we need to spend a lot of money to get this level of trained and experienced staff. Next is technical staff is required, cost of data conversion and performance. So these are all the disadvantages of database system. So have a look at the same, like complexity, cost of conversion, security issues, slower response. So these are the disadvantages of database management system. So today we have discussed about advantages of database management system and disadvantages of database management system. In advantages of database management system, like we have discussed various advantages, like first is data integrity, or the elimination of the data inconsistencies, and how we are supposed to eliminate the inconsistencies with the help of database management system. In addition, we are supposed to deal with data integrity, and data integrity means to say data is consistent and accurate in the database, and it is essential as there are multiple databases in DBMS, and all these databases contain data which is visible to multiple users. Therefore, it is essential to ensure that data is consistent and correct in all databases for all the users. Next is security is provided. You can have a look at the same. So how the security is provided, like vital concept hai, and only authorized users must be allowed to access the database, and their identity must be authenticated being using username and password, and unauthorized user should not be allowed to access the database under any circumstance, as it violates the integrity constraint. So DBMS provides a better platform for data privacy, thus helping companies to offer an improved data security. Next is better data integration, that is concerned with the inconsistency. So due to the database management system, like we are supposed to assess, we have access to well-managed and synchronized form of data, making it easy to handle, and it also gives an integrated view of how a particular organization is working and keep track of how one segment of the company affects another segment. So It is minimizing the inconsistency. How? Because data inconsistency occurs between files when various versions of the same data appears in different places. So data inconsistency, or I can say data consistency, is ensured in the database. There is no data redundancy. Beside, any database changes are immediately reflected by users, and there is no data inconsistency. Next is faster data access, easier access to data, or easier user access. So database management system helps the users to produce quick answers to queries, making data accessing accurate and faster. Like we are given with any data set, and DBMS can help in solving various queries like that are discussed in 3 questions, like what was the volume of sale, what is the sale bonus, how many of our customers have credit balance of 3,000 or more. So these are certain types of. Next is decision making, better decision making, because we have improved and managed data assessing, because of which we can generate better quality information and we can make better decisions. Next is simplicity. So it allows us to understand data better with a clear and simple logical view. And with DBMS, many operations like deletion, insertion, or creation of file or data, they are easy to implement. Recovery and backup is there, because uh, like automatically it takes care of recovery and backup, and the users are not required to take periodically backup as this is taken by DBMS. So beside, it also restores the database after a system failure or a crash to prevent its previous condition. In addition, it is concerned with increased end user productivity, because after discussing all the advantages of database management system, we have concluded that it is concerned with increased end user productivity by providing all the advantages in the database management system. So the available data transform into helpful information with the help of combination tools. It helps end users make better, informative, quick decisions that can make the difference between success and failure in the global economy. Additionally, today's DBMS is serving as the backbone of several advanced technology practices like data science, data modeling, machine learning. So, if you are someone like um, who is looking for a career in analytics or automation, then DBMS is a must-have skill for you. So in addition, we have discussed various disadvantages like complexity, cost of conversion, security issues, slower response. Now this is the reference book. It is the book by Koth, and it is available in college library. You can get it issued from the library and have a look at the same. Today's MCQ questions are given here. Have a look at all the 10 questions. Each question is having 4 choices, and you are supposed to take any one answer. And at the end of the class, you are supposed to submit me all the answers, all the 10 answers of the 10 questions. So have a look at the questions. 10 questions are there. It was all about my today's class. If you are having any query, then you can ask me any question. Thank you. Have a nice day.